First of all, John, thanks for hopping on today. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So, heading into year three at Burleson, how you feel the team's looking right now?
Yeah, we're young and inexperienced, but they've been in the program for going on year three, so they get the how we do things and the focus on character and the development of the whole man. So they get that part. They get the culture that we're asking them to do, which is just give us all you got all the time. And so, but we're young. A lot of these guys. I mean, we got I don't know 7 or 8 guys that have played on Friday nights, and that's about it. So, um, but I like our talent, and I like how they're working.
Absolutely. And I know you kind of talked about it right there, but year three always seems like a great year as a coach because you've really gotten that chance to hammer down the culture and the foundation that you want moving forward. How do you feel the program has done in that sense of kind of getting that identity that you want out of your team?
It's such a crux right now, right? Because the first year was COVID, and we didn't have them. And then when we did have them, you didn't really get to do a lot of the stuff. So I really looked at last year as the first year for us. And so, uh, like everybody, we've the numbers have dropped a little bit, coming off of COVID and all that stuff. And so, but that being said, the guys that are here, man, it's a player led program right now, which is great. That's what we want to have as coaches.
So, talking about player led, what are you expecting out of those young guys, and who are some of the guys that you think are going to step up and kind of take on those leadership roles that have been vacated by graduations or transfers?
I love our senior leadership. Starting with Dylan Dubois and Kendall Cassidy, two of our inside backers who play a lot of football for us. Kalen Blair, uh, Jaden Ayers, all played a lot of football for us last year. On the offensive side, Joel Smith and Isaiah Perry and Nathan Baldwin, who all played a lot of football for us on the offensive line last year. So I like our senior leadership from that standpoint. Those guys are strong. They get it. Uh, our young guys, the junior class, there's a lot of really talented players there. Just haven't had a chance to do it, and that doesn't make it good or bad. It's just when you're building a program, we've had some fairly good skill positions around here the last couple of years. They didn't have those opportunities on the varsity level. They went and did well on the JV level and the freshman level, and so we're excited for them with Mason Ferguson and Chase Torres and Fabian Vasquez all at receiver. To watch them work. We love our corner, Jaden Reed, and our other corner, Michael Bonilla. We got a young guy that's a junior that is kind of a jack of all trades, Caden Ward. We're excited about him. The running back or the quarterback position, obviously, we lost the number one player in the country, and that's not easy to replace. That's a heck of a player. My son will be stepping into that role as a sophomore, and he's ready to go, but he's a sophomore, so it's just a lot of inexperience. It's not good or bad. It's just inexperience. It is what it is, and you only get it by getting it.
I mean, you mentioned your son. How exciting is that for you to be able to coach, all three of your sons at different points during their careers, and now getting that chance with your youngest?
Yeah, it's a dream come true, and we are a football family. We coach as a family. My wife runs, make sure the kids are getting what they need nutritionally. My daughter is highly involved from running practices in terms of spotting the ball and snapping the quarterbacks and stuff like that, and then filming or taking pictures. And so we're a football family. We love it. It's a dream come true to be able to do this as a family and get to work side by side with your family. And certainly this last quarterback and having a chance to coach the other two, and now having him, he's got to see the other two go through it. And I think he's a few steps ahead of where they were because of that.
That is a good example to look up to and have some preparedness as far as what to expect. Speaking on your coaching career, how did you first get involved in coaching? And when you retired, was the plan always to get into coaching?
Yeah, I think, as a quarterback, you're a coach by nature for most of us. I mean, it kind of goes with the territory. And then, I mean, the NFL wasn't a realistic thing for me coming out of college. And both my wife and I were educators. She was teaching and coaching already when I got out of school. And so then the NFL happened. And it happened for 16 years. But the dream and the goal never changed. And it actually became a calling that we feel like the Lord has put on our lives to teach and coach at the high school level and train up character and integrity in these young men. And so that's just been the calling that God's put on our life. We've known it for a long time. And we're thankful for the opportunity we've had since I retired in 2011 and got a chance to go right back to my high school, my hometown, my school that I graduated from and coached there for 3 years and get a chance to start a program and then getting a chance to come down to Texas where this is where you want to be if you're a high school football coach.
Speaking on that, what is it like to be a part of Texas high school football? Since you have coached in 2 other states and you know what their football is like, what is the difference in Texas high school football?
Yeah, people ask me that a lot. There's a lot of differences. Number one, just the pageantry of it all, the tradition. I mean, this is what it is here, and that's a big deal. And then in terms of just on the field stuff and obviously here having athletic periods and being able to be with your kids all year round is a big deal in terms of development. But the biggest difference is volume. There's just so many good players and so many good programs in Texas. I say in Washington State and in Arizona, those top programs, they'll compete with the top programs in the state of Texas on a one-game basis. But to have to do it week in and week out, like you have to do in Texas a lot of times, that's where the difference comes in.
Yeah, I totally understand. And, you talked about feeling like it was a calling for you and your wife to get involved at the high school level. You've also coached at the pro level for 1 year. And do you feel high school is the purest form of football? I've heard other coaches talk about that who have had experience at different levels.
Yeah, certainly. I think, you're coaching kids that 97% of them are not going to play after high school. And so this is the experience. And that's one of the things that we try to convey that message to our players. A lot of times you get these kids that are sophomores. Hey, coach, I'm going to give up football. I just don't see it as in my future. My comment always is it's not in anybody's future. To go on to college is the top 3%, and to go on to the NFL or professionally, it's the top 1% of 1%. So, it's not in anybody's future. It's just enjoy the game while you can here in the high school level. There's nothing better than it. Just the camaraderie, like I said, the pageantry, the tradition, the memories you gain, but then really the training you get. I get people all the time, owners of businesses all the time, that are calling us and asking us, hey, who do you got? Who did you have graduate, 3-4 years ago? I'm looking for people to come in and be a part of my company, be part of my business, because I know what football, and in particular your program, your Real Man training program, does for us.
Definitely. So is that a real emphasis for you and for your program, is that idea of building beyond just the football field and really developing that character and making them well-adjusted young human beings?
Absolutely. It's the beginning and the end for us. We're not shy about it. That's the goal. That's why we're here at the high school level. If it's about winning and losing and just prestige and all that stuff, then you go coach it at the pro level or college level. But here at the high school level, we're here to partner with parents in this endeavor of helping their young man navigate this journey from 14 years of age to 18 or 19 years of age and then beyond. I'm texting with guys this morning that have graduated the last couple of years and that are now in football camps. How's it going? I'm checking in with them, and we really believe in the relationship piece as coaches, and really trying to develop these young men from the inside out.
How nice is it to be able to convey to these kids your story and your experience in football, in the sense that it doesn't always have to be the most logical, like Power Five D1 way. Like, as long as you have a belief or a faith in it and you work towards it, there is a chance.
Yeah, that's one thing I tell kids all the time is you play this game as long as you can. And it's one of the games that once it's gone, you can't replace it. And so you play it as long as you can. There's so much to learn from it. Relationship building, team building, how to bounce back, how to deal with adversity. All those things are great life skills to have. So, I don't use my story as much anymore because, I'm getting older. These kids don't remember that. So we try to grab other stories that we see.
Going back to the football field real quick, heading into this season, like you said, you're losing one of the best quarterbacks, but do you find that your offense is very quarterback oriented, in the sense that a lot of passing game, or are you going to try and be more of a run game this year?
Man, we do whatever is best for us and whatever we feel like the defense is going to give us a chance to put the ball in the end zone. We're not really going to go into a game saying we got to do this or do that. We take a look at the film and we try to decide, what's the best way to attack this team according to how they play and according to what our strengths are. And so, even with the number one quarterback in the country last year, we ran the football 60% of the time. So, it's just, you play the game to put your team in position to be successful, whatever those numbers are.
You've been coaching for a while now. Do you have one memory or example that you always tend to look back on as, this is a perfect example of why I got into coaching and why I love what I do?
Geez, that would take hours. But, I just think of guys like Ben King came to us at 420 pounds, couldn't run. I've been through some tough things with the health of his mother. And when he graduated, he was 310 pounds. And he was a monster, and he could run up and down the field. He was happy. And he ended up getting an academic scholarship to TCU. I think about those guys. I think about the Devin Brady's of the world, who was a 6'2", 180-pound tight end who ended up, graduating at 235, 240 pounds and going out to play college football. I think about the Rayshawn Millers, who, had a kind of a tough upbringing, but, was able to push through that. And when we got there, he had never passed a class. He was a sophomore, had never passed a class. And he graduated, with a 3.0 and went out to college, played football. And, so I just think about all those guys and just the difference that you get a chance to make in their lives. Dylan Green, who just had a dream of playing college football and wasn't overly talented, but he found a place in Tampa, an NAIA school, and ended up earning a scholarship there and is now coaching. Played well his 5 years that he was there and is now coaching football and carrying on what we do. So there's tons and tons of examples. But I also think about the kids that don't go on to play college football. The kids that, couldn't do a push-up, can't do a pull-up, can't run 10 yards without wheezing. And now they're running 300-yard shuttles. They're doing 15 pull-ups, and they can do push-ups to failure, do 40 to 50 push-ups. Those are the kids. And I think about the kids whose grades and their families have been put back together because of the character training that we do. So there's example after example after example.
I'm sure there are. And, one of my last questions for you, Jon, is as far as your coaching, scheme and the way that you go into it, who have been some of the influences on you as far as, how you are as a coach and how you try to hold yourself?
Yeah, offensively, the biggest influence has been Mike Martz, just the attention to detail that we demand from our players, demand from our coaches. That attention to detail puts people in position to be successful down in and down out. And then I would say just overall influence in coaching has been Jason Garrett, just the organizational conviction of belief and having a message. Those two have been, in terms of just the football side of things, probably been my biggest influence.
All right. Thanks, Jon. Best of luck this season.
Great conversation. Thanks for having me on today.
Thanks for watching. Feel free to check out our other videos and don't forget to smack that subscribe button down below while you're at it. Also, for more great and original content, head right over to bvmsports.com.